How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So today, I want to talk about shiny hunting and Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Now, as we know, shiny hunting is a thing in these games, and there's going to be 153 Pokemon to shiny hunt. So of course, you know, we're including Meltan and Melmetal, but there's going to be quite a few Pokemon to shiny hunt, all the Gen 1 Pokemon, so there's going to be a lot to do. Now, the question, though, is, how do you shiny hunt in these games? What amount of Pokemon are going to be shiny, and also, what are the shiny rates, like, what's the amount of, like, you know, percentages for you to get an actual shiny while you're shiny hunting? How do they appear? How do you catch them? All that. So, let's get right into it. Now, first things first, how do we know all this information? Well, basically, this was posted by Kurt on Twitter. It's one of the data miners that has had access to this game for almost 4 or 5 days now, and he of course was the one that posted this information not too long ago. Now, what do we know? Well, basically, in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, you have something called catch combos. Now, catch combos basically allow you to chain, similar how you chain Pokemon in, you know, when you're playing any other Pokemon game where you shiny hunt usually, unless you're going for full odds, right? But you basically chain the Pokemon by catching them, calling them catch combos. Now, the good thing with that is that it actually shows you how many catch combos you have in this screen after you catch the latest Pokemon. So, for example, if you are chain hunting for a Caterpie, right? Then you'll see that if you've caught like 5 Caterpies in a row, it'll say that you have a catch combo of 5. And that's really good because it basically also increases your chances for a shiny with higher EVs, or also just generally a shiny and also with just higher IVs. That would be, you know, way higher. I said EVs for a second, but either way, what I'm trying to get across here is that basically by catch comboing, you have a higher chance for a Pokemon to get shiny rerolls. Now you can see right here, we have basically a chart here showing everything. So the chain count here is 0, 0, which gives you flawless IVs equals 2 and shiny rerolls equals 1. But then as you keep going here down to, like, you know, 15, you know, count, or the chain, whatever you want to call it, you've got flawless IVs at 4 and shiny rerolls at 2. If you go all the way up until 31, you actually have flawless IVs at 6 and shiny rerolls at 4. Basically, you know, kind of like skimming down the time it would take you to get the shiny. Now, of course, what are the current rates? Well, in this game, it's the same shiny encounter rate as you had in Gen 7 for Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. And what is that? That is 1 in 4,096. So you have a lot of Pokemon. You have a lot of you know, similarities to Gen 7. Of course, these games are essentially also Gen 7 games. It's been confirmed. So they fall into the same category there, and I guess the shiny hunting is going to be same in that way. Now, how do shinies actually work in this game? Well, basically, you don't actually battle Pokemon in this game. You just catch Pokemon. So, you know, it's kind of different in that sense. Usually, you know, for example, in Sun and Moon, you would have to battle a Pokemon and then chain through that battle. In these games, though, the shinies appear in the overworld. They're actually on the screen. And now, what does this mean? Well, basically, it means that you'll be able to see shinies on your overworld while you're walking around. It means that you'll actually be seeing them there, and you won't have to go into a battle with the Pokemon to actually see if it's shiny or not, which means that you can ignore a lot of the Pokemon around you, you know, while you're walking around, and simply just go for the one that you see that is shiny. Now, of course, there are a few methods in this game to shiny hunt in. Currently, there are only 3, though. So the first one is full odds, which means that you would not actually bother with, you know, the catch combo or any of that. You'd just be going all in to get the Pokemon randomly, right? At the the highest possible, you know, or hardest possible chance, which is 1 out of 4,096, right? But of course, when you're catch comboing, that rate falls down and you have a higher chance of getting it, right? Instead of being 1 in 4,096, it would be maybe half that, right? But if you go full odds, which a lot of people will do, you won't have to do any of that. You won't have to catch combo. You'll just go around until you eventually get a shiny Pokemon, which is, you know, one method to do it. Of course, that's the first one. Now, what's the second method? Well, that is catch combo method, which is the one where you basically catch the same Pokemon several times until eventually you get a shiny one, which you will eventually get because the rerolls here, as you can see, you know, at the count of 31, your shiny rerolls are at 4, and I assume that they stay that way afterwards. Now, of course, we don't know exactly everything yet because, you know, we haven't gone through everything yet and people haven't played through the full games yet. People have almost finished them, but we have a general, you know, gist of it, general idea of how it works. And of course, you know, if there is more information that comes out after I put this video up, you know, when Cerebi has his hands on the games and whatnot, I'll of course post another video with updates and stuff. But for now, that's what we know. Now, what is the final method? What the final method is actually soft resetting. Now, soft resetting is something that you've done in the past. Basically, you do this for Pokemon that are, kind of like static in the world, right? Pokemon that are in one single place, like legendaries. Now, what's really fun about these games is legendaries are not shiny locked. Every single legendary is available for shiny hunting, which is awesome. That makes it so much more fun to actually get these shinies and actually want to go for them, because you won't have to, worry about them being shiny locked, which we did have some shiny locked in the past. Of course, Sun and Moon has shiny locks, but Ultra Sun and Moon unlocked a lot of them. But for example, Zygarde was shiny locked. In this game, the only thing that I guess is shiny locked is your starter Pokemon, your starter Pikachu and your starter Eevee, depending on which game you play. Of course, you can still catch shiny Pikachu in the wild that is shiny, and also shiny Eevee in the wild that's shiny, but you can't get your starters as shinies. They are shiny locked, so do keep that in mind. But of course, what's the deal with soft resetting? Well, basically, soft resetting is to restart your game to the point where you saved in front of a shiny, right? In front of a legendary Pokemon, so that you can get it shiny. And basically, that's what you can do in this game as well. Now, a thing that I would recommend is if you're shiny hunting for legendary Pokemon, there's an option in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee to turn off movies, or rather turn off cinematics, called movie skipping, right? And this allows you to skip the introduction with Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos, which is a cinematic that plays before you take them on. You can basically skip that, 100% skip that, by pressing, or rather, opening up this option, or turning on movie skipping in your settings. So definitely do this if you want to shiny hunt faster. Just a recommendation. Now, how do you soft reset in these games, right? In the previous games, there was a method where you held specific buttons and you did it. In this game, all you do is press your home button, press the X button, and turn off your game, and then restart your game again. That's how you soft reset in these games. Very simple, very straightforward. I will, though, make sure to tell you that make sure to have movie skipping on if you're doing this, because you don't want to be sitting and watching that introduction cinematic every single time, because you will also take a lot of time in the introduction screen for the game, because the introduction screen is apparently unskippable, so you'll be spending a lot of time there. So I would recommend turn movie skipping on if you're shiny hunting for Moltres. I would keep the movie skipping off if you are playing through the game for the first time. Keep it on because you want to see those cinematics and see how they look like and all that stuff, but make sure to just turn that off once you're doing shiny hunting, for at least in terms of soft resetting. You definitely want to turn that off. But yeah, so those are the methods. There are only 3 methods, but only really 2 in general, though, because full odds is just full odds, right? It's a method, I guess, but it's not really a method, but I guess it's one way of shiny hunting, so I guess you can refer to it as a method. But if we were to remove it and just count it as just random encounters, which they are what they are, you really have only 2 methods of shiny hunting in this game, or only one new one, which is the catch combo. Soft resetting is old. We've done it several times in the past. It's nothing new to Pokemon. Catch comboing is, though, but it's very similar also to previous shiny hunting methods. So it's nothing crazy, but it's pretty cool that they added in this so that people can actually shiny hunt and still have fun with shiny hunting, which is awesome. So I think that just pretty much runs down most of the things you should know. Now, like I said, most of the Pokemon, actually every single Pokemon except your starters, is not shiny locked, which means you have a lot of options for Pokemon to shiny hunt and go for. There's a lot of them. And also, another amazing part about these games is that your shiny Pokemon will appear in the Overworld. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, basically, when you're walking in the Overworld and you decide to send out your Pokemon, right, to follow you or to ride on it, your Pokemon will actually, in the Overworld, physically appear in the color that it actually is supposed to be if it's shiny, right? If you have a Charizard and you've got the shiny Charizard, it will actually appear in the shiny color in the Overworld. So you can be going and flexing with all you want with your shiny Pokemon. So that's going to be freaking awesome, guys. But yeah, that pretty much runs down everything you need to know about these games in terms of, all this stuff. Now, I would recommend one big thing when you are shiny hunting in these games is buy a lot of Pokeballs. Apparently, there are high chances in this game for you to mess up your throws because there are some motion control issues currently with the Joy-Con and whatnot. Apparently, the Pokeball Plus is better to use, but of course, it's an expensive device that, not everybody's going to be getting. But in general, though, the game seems to have, some motion control issues sometimes. If you don't have the actual console right in front of you, it can be a little bit troublesome depending on what people have been saying that have played the game already. That's apparently an issue, so keep that in mind as you are preparing yourself for the release of these games and getting ready to play them. Just keep that in mind because it's a very important thing to remember. So I think that is just about it, guys. I think we've gone through everything. If you guys did enjoy the video, then drop a like down below, and thank you guys so much for all the support. Basically today I'll be live streaming on this channel a 24-hour live stream of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. It will be live right here on the channel. I probably will link it down below in the description so you guys can check it out right there. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Overworld. Have yourselves a great day, and bye bye, ladies and gentlemen.